What up guys, this is Versus Z back with another video review for the first week of Rider Fest. Week 1 is all about Kuga, Agito, and Ryuki, and throughout this entire week we've all been working hard to get our uploads in, and this will be my final contribution for the first week. And today I'm bringing you guys S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii, Kamen Rider Ryuki. Take a moment though, if you guys don't have any idea what S.I.C is, or if you have no familiarity with S.I.C, take the time. I'll suggest you guys visit Guiltaur's channel, check out his introduction to S.I.C, and I'll provide a link both here as an annotation and down at the drop box. So go check that out so you guys can get filled in on what an S.I.C figure is. The Kiwami Tamashii line are downsized S.I.C figures. They got the same amount of great detail, the same amount of articulation, just basically downsized and much more affordable. With that being said, this figure costs 1,300 yen, which is roughly about 14 to 15 US dollars. It was originally released back in 2009, but was very recently reissued, and you can find those reissues at cstoysjapan.com or hlj.com. Alright, first things first, and I want to talk about the packaging, and I gotta say, I love the way this figure comes packaged. I love how the S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii figures are packaged, not just this figure, but all throughout. All the other releases that I have so far, and I've got 3 including this one, they all come in this very reusable packaging that isn't made of, a box or cardboard or anything. It's made of plastic on the outside, and then on the inside is the cardboard. And it's really sweet because with this kind of packaging, you can reuse it over and over, and if you really wanted to stow away your S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii figure, you can just put it back there and keep it in mint condition. The accessories are, they lie around here. You do have a couple in there, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But it's a very nice packaging, very simple, very clean, and really looks good on display. I mean, I can imagine if these things were on a shelf at Target or something, it would be very eye-catching. And, I mean, unfortunately, or maybe I should just say, fortunately, we don't have them in Target. I'm pretty sure these figures would sell out. But anyway, taking a look at the packaging, on top it goes S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii. You got the figure, which lies around here, and then the accessories here. Masked Rider Ryuki. Bandai 2009 and approved by Toei Company. Bandai seal, so you know it's legit. Now the back is also very clean. You got some promotional photos and some examples of what you can do with the figure. You got a full body picture here, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but this might even be actual size. I'm not sure. You know what? Let me bring out the figure just check. Okay, maybe not so much, but you can definitely get a clear idea of what the figure is about if you don't unpackage it. You get a preview of the other S.I.C line figures. This one doesn't look very familiar to me, but this one here is the Den-O sword form, which I will be reviewing in a different week of Rider Fest, and we also have S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii Hibiki, which I will be reviewing next week. You got some information here, and I need to make a correction because apparently it's 1,200 yen, not 1,300 yen. So sorry about that. 1,200 yen, which makes it $13 to $14, or more or less, but 1,200 yen right there. So pretty sweet. Very quick size comparison to a typical size 1:144 scale high grade model kit, Gundam model kit. You've got your S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii in the middle, and then you have a Hasbro 3 3/4 inch figure. So it stands right in the middle of your 1:144 scales. It stands a little bit taller than your Hasbro figures. So I mean, believe it or not, I think these guys are in their own scale size. They're not really in. They don't really fall into either a 3 3/4 inch or a high grade size. So I think if you start to collect these figures, they will definitely be in their own little scale. Alright, time to go over the details, and I'm really excited about this part, as you can already see why. I mean, do I really have to talk about the details? Just look at it, absorb it, take it in, and just take it as it is. It's just sick. S.I.C. Sick. I think they did that on purpose, kind of. I don't know, it's really wonderful. You got some silver, you got some gunmetal for certain parts of his armor, you got this nice red, the details on everything, like typically, or not typically, but normally in the show, all these things would basically be like spandex or something, but I like how the designers took the time to make it look like more than just spandex. It looks more like, armor and stuff. Sorry for the out of focus right there, but real nice paint apps on the belt. just everywhere. I really like how they did his gauntlet here. Really nice paint apps. The chest is very detailed, as you can see. You got a little bit of there you go. You got a little bit of detail right there on that part of the chest. I like the asymmetry that's going on here. I like this section here, so it's kind of like his rib or his abdominal area, and especially on his mask. And you can get the silhouette that there's the red for his eyes there. You can kind of see that. So it's really nice detail right there. And you even get the dragon crest on top of the head. So there's absolutely no detail missed on this figure. And to think that it's a 4-inch figure, it's really awesome. Quick look at his accessory count. Not so much, but they're very effective. You've got very small hands. Default hands that he comes equipped with are just some normal comp splayed out hands. And these two hands are you can pretty much only switch out his right hands. This one is one made to hold his drag saber, and this one is just a hand, a fixed pose hand to hold his admin card, which pretty much has nothing on it. There's no detail or anything on there, which kind of sucks. I think they could have done something, but you know what, it's fine, because I don't really care for it. Here's his drag saber, very detailed. Love the metallic red paint app. It worked on the silver and the black to accent it. And it slides into his hand, very easy. You just got to make sure it fits between this really tiny gap. I mean, it's very tiny. It looks like it's closed and attached together. I got fooled by it earlier, but basically just part that and squeeze or just wedge the handle in there, and then you're set. And then finally, I think his coolest accessory is the Drag Rider Gauntlet. Well, at least I think this is the Drag Rider Gauntlet. Maybe the one that's on his arm is the Drag Rider Gauntlet, but whatever. I didn't really watch the show, but I do like the design of the figure, so I got it. But it's very detailed. I really like this. This is awesome. Nice paint app for the eyes right there. This is really awesome. I can't really spot any paint inconsistencies. I mean, maybe a few that blotch over here and there, but it just looks awesome. And the mouth can open and stuff. Basically, you just pop off his other forearm, pop this back on, and then you're set. Alright, at this point you guys are probably saying, oh, it's got great detail, the weapons are detailed too, but what about the articulation? Especially after you guys have just seen my S.I.C Kuga review. You guys are probably iffy about it, right? Well, let me show you. Boom. 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 This thing is loose. But that's actually a good thing, because it doesn't get in the way at all. So it's just there, it just floats there. So in and out, rotate, do all that, you know. Bicep rotate, bicep swivel, elbow bend. This wrist doesn't move because it's attached to the gauntlet. You got the ball jointed torso. Yeah, ball jointed torso, so you can rotate it back and forth, do all that stuff. Legs are very impressive. They can go back about that far. I mean, honestly, I don't think a human could do that anyway. I've tried, trust me. Kick the leg forward up like that. You got a double jointed knee bend, very nice, very fluid. Huge improvement over the S.I.C Kuga. And then the ankles. Okay, let me explain the ankles. You have a swivel that allow the ankles to go up and down like so. You can also have them rotate like that. But it's also on a secondary joint on the bottom of the feet, so that you can sort of swivel it side to side, so you can get them in angles like so. Quite hard to explain the joint. Very simple mechanism, but it all works out in the end. Like, you wouldn't seem that this figure could pull off a very solid stance on the ground, but believe me, check that out. I mean, yeah, it looks kind of shammed right now, but yeah, it all works out, guys. Articulation is great. What really impresses me the most about these figures is their size, and how they're able to pose so cleanly and still look good at the same time. I mean, sometimes some of the smaller figures have a hard time posing and looking very fluid and clean, but these figures can really accomplish that. He even looks cool just putting cards into things. Aw man, and once you get that Tamashii stage act into play, it is all over. Man, if only I had the red Dragon Zord, or something, this would have been perfect. Alright guys, so for my final thoughts, I'm just going to have to say I recommend this figure to pretty much anyone, especially if you're a fan of Ryuki, or if you're a fan of if you're collecting S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii, or just S.I.C in general, or if you just really like smaller scale figures, this is a nice bit to add to your collection, or it's even a nice lineup to get into. Let me kind of go over some of the negative and positive points. Some negatives here, and one that I didn't point out earlier that I feel like should be noted. Let me start off with that one, and it has to do with popping off the forearm to switch for the dragon head accessory. The peg, and there's a ball joint in there, so the peg with the ball joint doesn't feel like it'll last long if you pop the forearms in and out on a daily basis. So just be very careful with that when you swap arms in and out. It just doesn't feel very safe. It could be just me, but it's something to look out for. Also, just the price and the size. Some of you are thinking, it's like 14, 15 bucks. I might as well get something bigger, like a Transformer figure or anything else out there that's 15 bucks or something bigger than that. And some people will hesitate, and I understand why they would when it comes to getting a figure like this. The size and price, putting those two factors in together. I could understand why people would hesitate to pick this up. And that's pretty much it. Now, the positive points, I mean, you got great articulation, absolutely great detail, paint apps are great, and it's just a wonderful figure overall, very solid. Oh, and I guess I should add this on into the negative points. Not that it was a problem for me, but some people might think that the shoulder armors are just a little too loose. Yeah, and it's a very tiny nitpick, but I'm pretty sure people will nitpick on that. But anyway, back to the positives. Yeah, it's just great overall. Great articulation, great amount of accessories. Very not too much actually, but they all work out in the end. And then you got a very nicely sculpted figure. You've got S.I.C, but in smaller, more affordable range. Um, it's just great overall. So I can definitely recommend this to basically anyone who wants to get into the S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii lineup. Ryuki might not be a bad figure to start with, since it's not very discontinued, and I think because it was released before once, I think everyone who wanted Ryuki already has it. And it's still in stock at CS Toys Japan and HLJ.com, so go check it out if you'd like to. There's also his partner, I guess you could call a partner in crime, Knight, Kamen Rider Knight, which Guiltaur actually did a review on, so you might want to go check his channel out if you want to figure out what you want to do with Kamen Rider Knight. So for the final score, I'm going to give this figure a solid 8.5 out of 10. Taking in the price, size, and just a few knocks against this figure, very minor knocks against this figure, but I'm sure people would, take that against the figure. So 8.5 out of 10, but it's great enough for me to recommend it to pretty much anyone. So yep, that's my video review for S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii Kamen Rider Knight. I'm sorry, not Knight. Kamen Rider Ryuki. I hope you guys found this review helpful in some way, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So continue on to Rider Fest next week with Fi's Blade and Hibiki. I'll be part of that, and once again, continue having fun at Rider Fest. See you guys next time.